Hello, my name is Amanda Paiva, and I'm a graduate student with Liberty University pursuing my master's in public health. For my practicum project, I collaborated with a public school district in Oklahoma that focused on promoting nutrition in early childhood. Let's take a look. Okay, the purpose of the project was to develop nutrition education resources for Norman Public Schools, early childhood programs, and the families they serve, using competencies I've learned from the Community Health Promotion degree program. Norman Public Schools has two community outreach programs in their early childhood department. One is the Early Learning Center, which you may hear me call the ELC, and the other is the Norman Parents as Teachers group, also known as MPAT. Both groups serve children ages 0 to 4, but the services and parent demographics of the groups vary. For the ELC, they are a learning center that provides childcare for children of NPS employees who are under the age of 4 and not able to attend public school just yet. The NPAT program is a community based parent support group for children under 6. Anyone in the community can join that program. However, the requirements are to receive a developmental screening, home visits with parent educators, to attend a monthly group with a group play date, and families are able to check out certain materials to take home and use with their child. It is common for high risk families to be identified by other community services and referred to this program, but it is open to all. The goal of this group is to prepare a child for school with early learning opportunities, provide caregivers with the support and guidance they need, and to promote overall child health and well-being. The director of the early childhood program is Ann Rosales, and who served as my practicum supervisor. Ann wanted to bring in some intentional and thoughtful nutrition education resources that were tailored to the diverse needs of the people they served. The health problem. In preparing to deliver nutrition information regarding young children, we researched and discovered some key areas to address. Research shows that the first 1,000 days of a child's life, from about conception to age 2.5, is known as the window of opportunity. It is a unique developmental stage that sets the tone for their overall health and well being into their adulthood. During this window, their immune system is priming, their neural pathway connections in the brain are being formed, and there is significant and rapid physical growth occurring compared to any other time in their life. Young infants and children need certain nutrients during this window, during this time period that aids these processes, in addition to the love, security, and connection needed from their caregivers. Some of the key nutrients and nutrition related impacts we were sure to focus on were the most common deficiencies found in children in the US today: iron and vitamin D. We also included more recent research that's pointing to a balanced microbiome in infants and its connection to future impacts on childhood chronic diseases, their metabolic health, and even future adolescent mental health. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends supplementing infants at 6 months with iron or introducing iron rich foods as their first complementary foods. Iron stores that were passed from mother to baby at birth begins to drop off at about 6 months, and their demand for more iron actually goes up about that time until they reach 1 year old. One great way for parents to introduce iron into their child's diet is through making meat stocks, as meat has the most bioavailable source of iron, and receiving it in that broth liquid form is really easy for babies to eat. It's also highly absorbed in the gut. However, one gap in knowledge is that packaged and processed grains like rice and oat cereal or teething crackers are often promoted by healthcare workers and marketed to parents in grocery stores as the best first foods, when very little iron from grains is actually bioavailable or absorbed in the gut. So, first time parents are needing these recommendations in easily explained and applicable ways. Another nutrient that is needed in this window is vitamin D. It's also recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics to start supplementing right after birth. and that's due to its ability to modulate and support the immune system. Historically, people spent more time outside than they do now. And so it's recommended by the AAP to go ahead and supplement with vitamin D, even in infancy. If a mother did not want to give her baby directly vitamin D, she could supplement herself if she was breastfeeding or would need to incorporate rich foods, foods that are rich in vitamin D into their diet. But in order to do that, she must know what foods really are highest in vitamin D. Now, if a mother is not breastfeeding and she is using formula for her baby is getting the recommended dietary amount of iron and vitamin D in adequate doses and does not need to worry about meeting those guidelines. However, often formula babies are missing out on protective microbiota for their guts that is found in mother's breast milk, like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, as well as HMOs that help with babies' digestion and gut. Design. In addition to developing new health education materials and resources, I was able to apply other public health competencies like conducting community based participatory research, providing a cultural competence assessment, and collaborating on interprofessional teams in various ways. Activities. After conducting our research and collecting data about our demographic, I was able to create and design multiple nutrition resources for each of the groups. The resources are both digital and for print use, and were all pre tested with a group similar to our target population before being disseminated. The resources were then translated with Norman Public Schools communication team into the appropriate languages identified on our survey. The recipe book was curated with culturally appropriate ingredients that are found in the traditional diets of our demographic, and of course, easily eaten by the age group of our target population, babies, toddlers, and young kids. Next, I was able to deliver an in person oral presentation about nutrition at the NPAT monthly group playdate. This was a great large group event that allowed for a more personal approach and some time for question and answers. The attendees were so gracious to perform a pre and post survey to assess their knowledge and self confidence before and after the nutrition workshop in order to measure our effectiveness. Last, I had the opportunity to collaborate and advocate on the school district's child nutrition and wellness policies as part of their Child Nutrition Advisory Council meeting. Outcomes. As part of our community-based participatory research, we first conducted a nutritional needs assessment survey to our key stakeholders, which is the early childhood department staff. And this nutritional needs assessment survey helped us identify some of the prominent languages spoken among the groups as English, Spanish, and Farsi. This guided our translation services and allowed us to deliver culturally appropriate recipes and nutrition guidance when we were developing resources. The survey helped identify common barriers to healthy eating as well, such as cost, knowledge, and some transportation and accessibility barriers. It was also discovered that the staff members of the ELC and the NPAT team were often the first identifiers of health conditions or developmental delays in these children, as many of the parents are first time parents and often do not know what to look for. Some common conditions reported were allergies, asthma, eczema, food allergies, autism, ADHD, low birth weight, and birth defects. These staff and key stakeholders selected the nutrition intervention and topics that they felt were most needed among the groups they served. And their feedback helped us really create our resources, our workshop topic, and potentially even future health promotion efforts as well. Next, the pre and post survey results for the in-person workshop showed a 9% increase in parent knowledge of the key nutrients for their child age 0 to 2. and a 5% increase in self-confidence or self-efficacy to provide these key nutrients through healthy food to their children. I performed a statistical analysis, which was conducted as a paired t-test and showed that there was no significance since the p-value was greater than 0.05. Though there was an increase in both objectives, the sample size was just too small and was a limitation to our study. It is recommended to conduct the study again with a larger sample size to really show its significance and impact on health belief and behavior. However, I conducted post interviews with the NPAT educators who were facilitating that small group play date and were in attendance at the event, and they showed significant enthusiasm for learning more, and even requested I come back and do professional development on nutrition for them so that they can better serve their families during their home visits. The outcome of the advisory council meeting is still pending, as the date for this meeting is December 5th of 2025 after this presentation. Recommendations. Okay, I have a few recommendations for this organization. Number one is to consider combining home visits with nutrition education into the NPAT program and its curriculum. During our research, we found lots of studies that showed existing evidence-based programs that combine nutrition education with that caregiving support piece, in addition to some tailored supplementation that really resulted in significant improvements in motor and language development in young children. Number two, my recommendation is to provide professional development focused on nutrition and other health topics for the NPAT educators, as they showed a great interest in it and really made requests for more, as they truly are the ones that are helping the families in their home, and they just see the need for it on their family's behalf. Number three is to consider partnering with other community organizations or even faith-based groups in order to provide just some additional social support, some gatherings, or just other opportunities for the NPAT families to better receive the benefits of that social norm theory on healthy eating patterns. Four, last, I recommend considering using social media as an added means to delivering health communications. This could allow program participants and community members that follow to receive necessary health information on early childhood, in an easy to read and accessible format, which helps eliminate that transportation barrier that some of them had who could not attend the nutrition workshop or the play dates on a regular basis. Personal reflection. I really love this project. I felt that I really got to apply some key competencies that I've learned in my degree program and just see them put into practice. It was really empowering. I was also really, really encouraged by the enthusiasm and the eagerness of the early childhood staff and the educators to want to learn more and to equip themselves about health and nutrition. I was worried initially that I would have to convince team members to incorporate health promotion and nutrition, but they agreed, and it was already on the forefront of their minds. So that was really refreshing and very easy to work with, and surprising too. So I also thought identifying them as key stakeholders and early identifiers of chronic disease in children, as well as just being those frontline implementers, might be applicable for future health promotion efforts as well in Norman Public Schools. I really hope to continue to partner with this team and the school district to foster health for all in our community, and possibly even replicate the format with other school districts or community outreach and caregiving programs like NPAT. I saw many ways that health policy could also make an impact and would like to personally continue to advocate for early childhood in my state, and gathering other like minded professionals and parents to see it through with a future coalition. I really enjoyed working on this project and just standing in the gap for young children and supporting their parents who love them very much and want to do their best by them. And I plan to continue to support them and pour into them and just be a help, so that these children can have a great foundation and a healthy future. So I will leave you with this quote. He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. I hope to continue to provide people hope through public health efforts while pointing them to the kingdom of heaven where everlasting hope comes from. Thank you so much for following along and learning about my practicum experience, providing nutrition education in early childhood. Thank you so much. Take care.